Welcome to this YouTube channel. Today, we are going to look at scenario manager. We have been looking at what-if analysis in the last two videos, and in this third video, I'm going to look at scenario manager. So under the data tab, we have what-if analysis here. We have talked about data tables, goal seek, and today we are looking at scenario manager. So to guide us, we have an example here where we have our sales, a unit price of 6,000, quantity at 30, giving us a total revenue of 120K. We have fixed costs of 70, variable costs of 3K, total cost 73K, and our profit is 107K. So we want to look, this is one of the scenarios, but we want to look at what if our price changes and our variable unit cost changes. What happens? If we reduce this by 10%, or reduce or increase this by 10%, what happens to our profit? So those are the scenarios that we are going to look at. So if I reduce that by 10%, maybe I increase this by 10%. I'm going to call it pessimistic. And then I'm going to have an optimistic situation. In that situation, I'm going to increase this price by 15%. But then I'm going to reduce the cost by 15%. So I want to present in a table my total revenue, costs, and profit if I vary my unit price between these different scenarios. If I have a scenario where the price is 5,400 and the variable unit cost is 110, what would be my profit? What would be my revenue? What would be my cost? And also look at another scenario. If I increase my price to 69, but reduce my costs, unit variable cost to 85, keeping the rest constant, what would be my total revenue? What would be my total cost? And what is my profit? So we are going to draw a table which will show the realistic scenario, the pessimistic scenario, and the optimistic scenario. So let's get started with scenario manager. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to watch more videos like this one. So to start off, we go to data, what if analysis, scenario manager. This dialog opens, we go to add. Currently, there are no scenarios here, we need to add them. Say add. The name of the scenario, so I'm going to call my original case realistic, which is this case. Then when I is changing sales, what sales am I going to change? As I've discussed here, I'm changing the unit price and unit cost. So I'm changing this cell here, comma, and this cell here. So you enter them there. Those are the cells changing. The rest are constant. Others are giving me a result. So say OK. And then say OK. This is our realistic case. So we have entered our realistic case. Next, let's enter the pessimistic case. Add pessimistic. The cells changing are the same. Say okay. Now the pessimistic values, you need to enter them. It is 5 for this one here and 110. Say okay. Takes you back. It has entered the pessimistic case. Let's enter the optimistic. Add. Scenario name is optimistic. Changing cells are the same. Say okay. What are the values for optimistic? I have 6900 and 85. Say okay. So I have entered my 3 scenarios: realistic, pessimistic, optimistic. If I double click on this one, you'll see these values changing and changing to the realistic values. If I click on pessimistic, it will change the price to the pessimistic price and the values will change. Likewise, it will happen for optimistic. So double click, pessimistic, nothing happens because this is our original value, which I call realistic. Double click on this, you can see the values change to the pessimistic case. Double click here, you say, so by going through this, I can study and see my realistic case. I can see my pessimistic case, and I can see my most optimistic case. So after that, how do I get a result? So I have summary here. If I click on summary, it gives me a scenario summary. Wants to draw, it gives me report types, two cases, scenario, and this other case here, pivot table. Now, my changing cells, my result cells, which results do I want to display? In my case, I want to display 3 results. My first one is the total revenue. So I'll click on this one. The other result is that. And my last result is the profit. So if I click OK, there you go. It opens a new sheet. And in this new sheet, it shows me the changing cells. Now these, I didn't name these, so I'm having a hard time knowing what this one is, but this is the price, and this is the unit cost. So it is telling me the current values are these. These are the realistic values, these are pessimistic values, and these are the optimistic values. So for these realistic values, if we use these realistic values, we get D3. D3 is the revenue, D8 is the cost, and D10 is the profit here. So you can type this in there so that you know what they mean, but there is another way of doing it. So if I go back to my result, I want to name this cell. And to name this cell, you click on the cell, come here, and name it total dash revenue. Come to this cell, I need to name it total cost. Click there, total costs. Enter. I didn't enter my first one, so let me go back. Total revenue, enter. Now it is named. I want to name this one profit. I click there, come in here, and give it profit, enter. So when I double click here, you can see that I've named my cells. Now I go back to the scenario manager. My cases, they are saved, they are still there. I go to this. My changing cells are well documented there. Say okay. Okay, you can see now I have profit, I have cost, and this is better. I forgot to do this, but you can go back and also name this as price, enter, name this unit cost, enter, then let's delete this, So when we go back to data, what if analysis, scenario manager, summary, run it again, there you go. So here we have the changing cells. In other words, we are changing the price and the unit cost. To what are we changing them to? We're changing them to this, and this is our result when we change them to these values. When we change them to pessimistic values, these are the results. And when we optimistic values, you can see the profit is much higher. So this is how you can do your scenario analysis using Scenario Manager. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the notification button if you have not yet subscribed. That's all I have for you today. Have a great day.